When the light of an ordinary morning was suddenly overshadowed by news of a global pandemic, everything in our lives seemed to crumble. Millions of people woke up not to their usual dreams, but to the fear. Could today be the last day for them or their loved ones? The life we once knew disappeared in one night. What did the pandemic take from you? A stable job, a loved one, or perhaps the peace of mind you once had? This isn't just a question for you. It's a concern shared by billions of people across the world. Yet each one of us must face an undeniable reality. The world is no longer the same, and neither are we. How has your life changed? Look back at yourself before the pandemic. Did you have a clear plan for the future, a familiar lifestyle, and the belief that everything was under control? But then, everything you once trusted was destroyed. So the question arises, how do you move forward? Let's explore, not just to get over the pain, but to learn how to accept change and turn it into strength. This journey is not just yours, but ours. The pandemic was not only a health catastrophe, but also a mental, economic, and social disaster. Do you remember the sight of deserted streets, no children's laughter, or the bustling flow of traffic? Or the overcrowded hospital beds where hope was just a faint light in the darkness? Heartbreaking stories kept unfolding. A young mother couldn't see her son for the last time because of strict quarantine rules. A small business owner poured all their passion into their work, but had to shut down for good. A graduate filled with dreams faced a frozen job market. But amid all this sorrow, there are stories of resilience. A doctor worked tirelessly for 48 hours to save dozens of patients. A small community came together, sharing meals and bottles of hand sanitizer. These small but powerful actions remind us that hope still exists. You are not alone. This is the message we want to send you. We've all been through this difficult time. But the more important question is, what will you do with this lesson? Will you let it defeat you, or will you turn it into the motivation to rise? When the pandemic hit, many of us were caught in a spiral of insecurity and despair. But why do we feel this way? Why does change, something that is naturally part of life, make us suffer so much? The answer lies in our basic instinct, the fear of the unknown. We inherently love stability, daily routines, familiar relationships, and a predictable future make us feel safe. When the world changes abruptly, we lose our sense of control and are forced to face a new reality we don't understand, don't accept, or may even not want to believe in. Imagine standing on a shaky suspension bridge. The strong wind blows, and the bridge shakes violently. You want to turn back to the safety of the past, but you know you can't. The world after the pandemic is just like that bridge. Each step you take is filled with fear, but stopping or turning back is not an option. A prime example is people who lost their jobs after the pandemic. Instead of seeking new opportunities, many feel paralyzed by the fear of failure or rejection. They cling to old jobs even though they no longer align with reality. But what if change is the opportunity? Think about it. Change is not the enemy, but a tough teacher. We fear change because we haven't fully understood the power it can bring. To overcome this fear, you need to realize that every small step forward will help you discover a better version of yourself. The world is constantly changing, and the pandemic was merely a reminder that we cannot control everything. But instead of resisting it, why not learn to accept and adapt? Looking back through history, humanity has faced terrible pandemics like the Black Death and the Spanish flu. Millions of lives were lost, but the survivors rebuilt the world from the ruins. The darkest times often mark the beginning of major changes that lead humanity to progress in ways we never imagined. Change is like a powerful river. You can't stop it, but you can learn how to swim with it. Imagine you're a small boat in the middle of the ocean. When the big waves come, you have two choices. Either let the waves drag you away or adjust your sail to ride through them. What will you do? Let the waves drown you or use them to move forward? Accepting change isn't an easy journey, but it's completely possible if you know how. Here are 5 simple yet highly effective steps to help you adapt and turn change into strength. Step 1. Accept reality. Start by facing the truth. Instead of avoiding or denying it, you need to acknowledge that everything has changed. Reality may not be perfect, but it's the starting point to building a new future. Step 2, focus on what you can control. The pandemic taught us a valuable lesson. There are things beyond our control, but there are also things within our grasp. Instead of worrying about what you can't change, focus on improving your health, developing skills, and maintaining a positive mindset. Step 3, learn from failure. Change often comes with failure, but it's not the end. View failure as a lesson. Each setback is an opportunity to understand yourself better and become stronger. Step 4, build a flexible mindset. Life is always full of surprises. To face change, you need to develop the ability to adapt. A flexible mindset not only helps you overcome difficulties, but also opens up opportunities you may have never considered. Step 5, connect with your community. No one can face challenges alone. Seek support from family, friends, or your community. Connection not only provides comfort, but also helps you find meaning in the trials you face. Imagine a person who was unemployed and lost direction after the pandemic. By applying these 5 steps, they rebuilt their career, found new passions, and even helped others through their crisis. Change is inevitable, but the journey of facing it is deeply personal. Each one of us has our own story, challenges, and lessons. Now let's reflect on your journey. Ask yourself, what have I lost during the pandemic? What have I learned from these hardships? What in my current life needs to change for me to become better? Perhaps you lost the sense of security in your job, felt empty from losing connections with others, or were overwhelmed by the feeling of helplessness as everything seemed out of control. But maybe you also learned to slow down, appreciate your health, or rediscovered what truly matters in life. Tell an emotional story. Imagine a woman named Mai, a single mother working in the service industry. When the pandemic hit, she lost her job, couldn't pay rent, and nearly lost hope. But instead of giving up, she started learning a new skill through free online courses. She built a small home-based business, not only providing for her family, but also allowing her time to care for her children. Mai says, "If it weren't for the pandemic, I would never have discovered my inner strength." Mai's story shows that while change may be painful, it can become the drive to help us discover a better version of ourselves. What about you? What makes you stronger today? The pandemic changed the world, but what's more important is that it changed us. It forced us to face fear, loss, and uncertainty. But at the same time, it taught us how to break through our limits, find hope in hardship, and redefine the meaning of life. Change is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. Accepting change doesn't mean giving up. It means learning to adapt, grow, and rise. Take a moment to write down. 1. What have you learned from the pandemic? 2. One small change you want to make in the coming week? 3. A lesson you'd like to share with others? Share your story in the comments below the video. Let the world see that not only did you overcome hardship, but you've also become stronger from it. Life is an ever-changing journey. Don't be afraid, take courage, and move forward. Remember, you can't change what has happened, but you can change how you face it. Strength doesn't lie in controlling everything, but in how you choose to stand firm in the storms of life. And you are the one who steers your own journey.